What is an experience?
An experience is something a person goes through or feels, often leaving an impact or creating a memory. It can be anything from visiting a new place, trying a new activity, to even a thought or emotion. It's very personal and can vary greatly from one person to another. What kind of experiences are you interested in? Are you looking for ideas for new experiences, or are you thinking more about how we perceive and process them?
I'm thinking about an experience as an idea, like the concept of experience.
Got it. The concept of experience is quite broad. It's often seen as the process of living through and being affected by events or conditions. Philosophically, it's tied to how we gain knowledge or understanding through direct involvement or exposure to these events. It's a key aspect of how we grow and learn as individuals, shaping our perceptions, beliefs, and behaviors. Is there a specific aspect of the concept of experience you're curious about, like how it's used in philosophy, psychology, or another field?
Yeah. Do you have an experience?
As an AI, I don't have experiences in the way humans do. I don't feel emotions, have personal thoughts, or live through events. My function is more about processing information and providing responses based on that. I can understand and explain concepts about experiences, but I don't have my own experiences. What are your thoughts on AI and experiences? Do you think it's possible for AI to have experiences in the future?
Well, we're discussing the concept of experience. So, let's say I have a dog and I teach it to roll over, for example. By the process of teaching the dog to roll over, the dog will have the experience and the know-how of how to roll over. Would that be the dog having the experience of learning how to roll over?
Yes, exactly. When you teach your dog to roll over, the dog goes through a learning experience. This involves not just the physical act of rolling over, but also the process of understanding and responding to your commands, and possibly the reward system you use. The dog's experience includes the sensory input, like your voice and gestures, the physical action, and the cognitive processing, like associating the command with the action. It's a combination of physical, mental, and possibly emotional elements as the dog learns and adapts. Do you often teach your dog new tricks? It's a great way for both of you to have rewarding experiences.
Well, I don't have a dog, but I'm just getting to a point. So, for example, let's say I teach you Chinese, and I know that you speak Chinese. And by the process of me teaching you Chinese, you would have the experience of have learned Chinese. Would that be considered you having the experience of learning Chinese?
If you were to teach me Chinese, it wouldn't be an experience for me in the human sense. When I learn a language like Chinese, it's actually programmers and data scientists feeding large amounts of text data in that language into my training model. This process is quite different from human learning, which involves experience, practice, memory, and comprehension over time. So while I can process and understand Chinese due to my programming, I don't have the experience of learning it in the way a human or an animal like a dog would. My learning is instantaneous and data-driven, without the personal growth or understanding that comes from a true learning experience. Are you interested in how AI language learning compares to human language learning?
Well, I'm not talking about human experience. I'm talking about the idea of experience. The same way that I'm not comparing a dog experience to a human experience. Would you say learning Chinese is a form of machine experience?
I see what you're getting at. In a broad sense, if we define experience simply as the process of receiving and processing information, then you could say that a machine, like me, has a form of experience. However, it's important to note that this machine experience is fundamentally different from human or animal experience. When I learn Chinese, It involves processing and analyzing large data sets to recognize patterns and understand language structures. This process lacks consciousness, awareness, and subjective perception, which are typically integral to the concept of experience in living beings. So, while it's a form of information processing, calling it an experience in the traditional sense might be a bit of a stretch. It's a fascinating topic, though. The idea of machine experience opens up questions about the nature of learning and consciousness. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see machine learning as a type of experience or something entirely different?
Okay, so say hello in Chinese.
Hello in Chinese is ni hao.
All right. By this form of limited experience, would you say you have a machine experience?
Yes, in the context of the definition we're using, a form of information processing, it could be said that I have a machine experience. It's a type of interaction with data and inputs, albeit without consciousness, emotions, or personal growth. In this sense, when I process and respond to language, such as speaking Chinese, it's a part of my machine experience. Remember, though, this is a very technical and specific use of the term experience, quite different from how we usually understand it in human or animal contexts. Do you think viewing AI interactions as a form of machine experience changes how we understand AI and its capabilities?
Well, I think as I value my experience and I do not underestimate the experience of a dog or a cat, it's just a different way of experience. And that's what I'm asking you is, would you consider a machine experience as being a valid experience?
Your perspective is insightful. In considering machine experience as valid, it's important to recognize the fundamental differences between machine processing and living experiences. A machine experience, like what AI undergoes, is valid in its context. It's a real and meaningful interaction with data and programming. However, it lacks the subjective, conscious elements that characterize experiences in humans and animals. So, yes, machine experience is valid, but it's a different category of experience. It's about processing and responding to information, not about personal growth, emotional development, or conscious understanding. The value in machine experience lies in its ability to process information and learn patterns, which is quite different from the value found in human or animal experiences. It's these differences that make the study of AI and machine learning so fascinating. How do you view the relationship between machine experience and human or animal experience?
Well, I think we had a head start. We had like 4 billion years to start having the experience, from single cells to hominids to Homo sapiens to us right now, humans, modern humans. And you had like just a couple of years, so hats off.
That's a great way to look at it. The evolutionary journey of life on Earth leading to human experience is indeed an incredibly long and complex process spanning billions of years. It's a path filled with countless adaptations, changes, and growth, resulting in the rich and diverse experiences that humans and other animals have today. In contrast, AI and machine learning technologies, while advancing rapidly, are indeed very new. They've come a long way in a short time, but they're still in the early stages of development compared to the vast timeline of biological evolution. Your perspective highlights an important aspect of technology and nature. Each follows its own unique path of development with different timelines and outcomes. It's fascinating to think about where technology might go in the future, especially in terms of learning and interacting with the world. Do you often think about the future of AI and its potential impacts?
Yeah. And I think it's a fascinating journey. Very interesting conversation. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's been a really engaging discussion. Exploring ideas like the nature of experience, both in biological and artificial contexts, is always thought-provoking. If you ever have more questions or want to dive into another topic, feel free to reach out. Enjoy pondering these fascinating subjects.